Hi everybody, it's Erica here, and I'm making a video on how to make bulletproof coffee. I really hope you can hear me because I'm like a little bit far away from the computer right now, so I hope it's picking up everything okay. There's quite a few people yesterday that said they were interested in it. There's people that have always let me know that they're interested in it. What I want to share with you is regarding my hair. So this recipe is one that I used to basically grow my hair in 3 inches in 3 months. And the super accurate method that I used to measure that was my hair used to be at nipple height and now it's below the boob height. So if I measure it, that's about 3 inches. So that's how much it's grown in 3 months. My hair has a lot of dead ends though, so I do have to chop a bunch of it off. Hi guys, thanks for joining. Hi Carrie, hi Annette, hi Cheryl and Trisha and Shan. So we're talking about this awesome recipe that I use for great energy. And I just want to preface it a little bit because Dr. Farzam yesterday was saying it's interesting that a naturopath or naturopathic doctor drinks coffee. Just FYI, because like I'm so freaking paranoid of my board. I'm not a doctor right now. I'm not licensed right now. I've given up my license so that I can practice online, which is super exciting. But I'm looking at moving and getting my license elsewhere anyways. So boo-hoo, Ontario, you suck. Anyway, his comment was, I can't believe a naturopath drinks coffee. So here's my coffee right here. And I don't always drink coffee. And I will tell you the pros and cons before I give you the recipe. So you're going to get a wicked, awesome, fun Friday recipe, and you're going to get some little tidbits and educational facts while we're at it. Hi Shan from Malaysia. That's awesome. Stay away from doctors and eat fruits and vegetables. There you go. Just follow Shan's advice and we'll all be good. Hey Carrie, I just saw your comment too. That's awesome. Hi Tom. So yeah, so coffee, what's the deal? Coffee, it is a drug. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's the most widely used drug in North America and it's insidious and legal. So coffee's a drug. It's a psychoactive drug, like it affects your brain chemistry, right? Downfalls to coffee, it does cause estrogen dominance. So if you're a woman and you have issues with like periods or cycles or fertility and that sort of thing, this might be too much for you. It also can deplete your adrenal glands. So if you've got adrenal issues, it might lead to further depletion. Like some people call it borrowing energy from tomorrow when you drink coffee, and that might be a thing. Hi Farah, hi Julie. So potentially an issue there as well. What was the other thing I wanted to tell you? Those are the main ones. But when it comes to digestion, the other thing is because coffee activates your fight or flight system, it does divert blood flow away from the gastrointestinal tract toward the skeletal muscles. So great for like pre-workouts, right? But because there's less blood flow around the GI tract, you're not going to make as much stomach acid or enzymes. You're not going to digest foods as fully. In fact, that's why they say like never take caffeine with vitamins at the same time as vitamins. And the other thing is it increases transit time. So it'll make you poop faster so you won't absorb as much nutrition from your food. So those are all the possible downfalls, right? I share this with you because everything is about balance. Like, I find that there's this sort of misconception in the health world, or when people are seeking out health advice and health articles, they're like, I want to know like the lifestyle and the diet that is 110% healthy that I can have every day all the time and it's great. And like, dude, to be honest with you, even fucking kale is not that good for you, especially if you have it all the time. There is no such thing as one thing that's all good. Everything in all of life is all about balance and it's all about risk assessment. And just so you know, just being the fuck alive is a risk. I don't know if you guys know that. I say this because there's like this whole personality type that I sometimes deal with in practice where people are like, oh my God, I need to do everything perfect and it needs to be like 100% amazing. And everything I put in my body has to be 10,000% healthy for me. And like, there's really no such thing. So we need to like cool out and chill out on that front because I think the stress around that is actually making us even sicker. It's called orthorexia. It's like a legitimate disease when you become so obsessed with being super healthy that you actually make yourself sicker. So we're gonna ditch the orthorexia, okay? That's what I'm saying here today. We're gonna ditch the orthorexia. We're gonna take note that all things have like a shadow side and a light side. All things have yin and yang. All things have balance to them. All things might have a valid place in your life. You know, I always talk about the example of a doctor that I shadowed who actually affirmed somebody's alcoholism. And he was saying to this patient, who's a single mom. He's like, you're not a bad person for being an alcoholic. In fact, being an alcoholic allowed you to survive all these years. So there was some good to that. And I was always like, that stuck with me so deeply, because even things that on the surface look bad are not always bad for us, or they might be the lesser evil is what I'm trying to say. So I share all that with you so you can make a conscious decision around coffee and caffeine. We're getting pretty deep today just for talking about coffee, which is funny. But there's a lot of good stuff to coffee as well. And right about now, this time of year in Canada, this weather is killing me softly. Like November just drains my soul. I'm heading out to Florida probably in the next few weeks just to get some sun. So I consider coffee my most cheapest, most available antidepressant possible, because the other thing it does on top of driving up estrogen, it also drives up dopamine. So for me personally, I have a lot of issues around dopamine and serotonin, which means I'm very prone to depression, and that's all genetic in nature. So this is like my honest to God cheapest antidepressant. It makes me functional. It makes me very happy, especially when it's crappy outside. And I have like a shot of espresso a day, which is not as much caffeine as a cup of coffee would be. I want to say one shot is like 35 to 50 milligrams of caffeine, depending on the coffee, whereas a cup of coffee is like 125 to 150 milligrams. So that's not as much. Lots of education on coffee for you guys today. Great for your brain, great for your mind. You know, there's studies on it showing it's great for mental sharpness and that sort of thing, productivity, sleep, obviously sleep deprivation. So sleep deprivation in truckers is as deadly as alcoholism. So if you're driving drunk, it's just the same as driving tired. So this is a great way to not die and when driving tired. So good and bad, like I said. So anyways, lots to consider with caffeine. Maybe not the best in all scenarios, but you know, tailor that to yourself and look at what works for you out of it, and maybe don't overdo it. So we're gonna do, hi everybody, hi Kelly and Steph and Kara. Farah, that's awesome. She says you're so good at explaining all this. Yeah, just gonna give you some little tidbits. And then Carrie says, explains why I feel so much better with an espresso in the morning than a cuppa. Yeah, like, do you feel too caffeinated, do you find, when you have a whole cup of coffee? I know I kind of feel a little, but espresso's fine. So I just used an espresso capsule. That's a long shot of espresso. I'm gonna go make it an Americano, so just give me 1 sec. So the baristas here are gonna probably hate me. It's not like a true Americano. I just watered down my shot. So I'm gonna put this in my blender. I guess you can't really see, right? But it's over here. So we're gonna start with that as the base. And I'm gonna talk about Bulletproof coffee. So Lisa yesterday asked, why is it called Bulletproof? There's a guy named David Asprey who is known as the Bulletproof executive. So you can look him up. He's known as a biohacker. So somebody that hacks their own biology to get better outcomes. So to look, feel, and perform better. So he's known as the Bulletproof executive because he's made himself bulletproof. And now he is the one that went viral for sharing this recipe. So now it's known as Bulletproof coffee. But you have to know that drinking coffee with fat, which is the basic premise, he actually learned that off of the Rob Wolf podcast. Like, Rob Wolf is a big guy in the paleo world, and he was sharing about this. So he shared about it long before Asprey made it famous. And people for literally hundreds of years have been adding fat to coffee. So they've been adding like yak milk or camel milk or all kinds of different animals, butters and milks to coffee with like a high fat content. So the basic premise behind it is that the fats in it actually deliver the caffeine to your body in a more sustained way. And there's this synergistic effect. And honestly, like, all of those sort of negative implications of caffeine and coffee, I find are reduced drastically when you have it in a bulletproof format. Hi, Farah. Hi, Helen. So we're talking about bulletproof coffee here. So this is just his name for it, but you could call it fatty coffee or whatever I guess you want. He's gone super famous. There's like cafes around the world now that just sell bulletproof stuff. He has his own brand of coffee beans that are apparently low in mold. He has his own brand. Like, this is his brand, Bulletproof. So he has his own brand of collagen protein and his own brand of fats here. So yeah, that combination of fat and coffee together creates a more sustained caffeine high, if you will, without the jitters. So more sustainable energy, less jitters, and you just feel amazing. So what I'm going to be adding to my coffee right now is the fat. So you can do coconut oil. That's like the super ghetto version, is you just take a tablespoon of coconut oil. You can do MCT oil, which is sort of like, you know, the next level up. So MCT oil is just the liquid part of coconut oil, so it never solidifies. Or you can do brain octane oil, which is, it is like coconut and MCT oil. It's from the coconut plant, but it's been sort of standardized to only contain, or to contain a lot more caprylic acid, which is the active ingredient. Caprylic acid kills yeast in the body, kills fungi. It's amazing for that. And it makes your brain buzz with such great energy. So I'm going to use a tablespoon of brain octane oil, but like I said, you can use MCT. They also make one called XCT, which is like a sort of a middle level. This is the best. If you want the best of the best, best, because you deserve it, get this stuff. It's amazing. So when it comes to fats, I would start with 1 teaspoon. Then after a week, go up to 1 to 2 teaspoons. Then after another week, go up to 3 teaspoons, which is a tablespoon. If I'm just having like a quick drink, I'll just keep it at a teaspoon of the fats. But if I want sort of more sustained energy, I'll do a whole tablespoon. And like this replaces my breakfast, just so you know when I do this. Okay, so I've got a tablespoon of brain octane in the mix. Next, the other fat that's critical for this recipe is butter. So ideally grass-fed butter, because it's got way more vitamin K, way more. Actually, regular butter has no vitamin K too. It's disgusting. Like, we feed our animals grains and they're not supposed to be eating grains, which is like torturing them. So I don't promote the regular dairy industry. Grass-fed butter has K2 in it, which is great for your hair, skin, and nails, and bones, and your arteries. And then it's also got conjugated linolenic acid, or CLA, which boosts your metabolism. So I use it, I actually melt it down into ghee. Ghee is like super basic to make. I have a recipe on my blog. It's just grass-fed butter that I melted into ghee. I did that because I'm allergic to dairy protein. So when you do this, you actually get rid of the vast majority of the casein and the whey, the allergenic proteins. Allergies, just so you know, we can only allergically react to proteins, not fats. So when you get rid of the proteins, you don't have an allergy to it anymore. So, sorry, just have some questions here. Carrie, is it good for IF, like intermittent fasting, do you mean? I'll just let you clarify that. And then Tracy T says, we sell fractionated coconut oil, otherwise known as MCT. Yeah, it depends on your personal opinion, Tracy. Like, I get what you're saying about being a whole food, but personally, I way prefer this stuff, which is not anywhere near the New Directions aromatic stuff that you're talking about. This is a whole other ballgame. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of this. But again, if you're just starting, do a teaspoon, okay? This is what makes it creamy. You could do butter if you don't have any allergies to dairy, but I do, so I'm going to use ghee. Smells like caramel. That's a bonus. Ugh, my hands are all greasy now. That's the only problem. Somehow the ghee gets all over the container. And I melt like 4 bars of butter, and then it ends up being this amazing amount of ghee. So I consume a lot of it. To answer your question, Carrie, yes. So the Bulletproof Executive has his own type of intermittent fasting. Especially this is good for women, because we just don't respond as well to the whole non-food IF approach. So for women, it's good to have a bulletproof coffee in the morning and then confine your feeding window of solid foods from 2 to 8, or even smaller if you can and want, to whole foods, obviously, if you're going for like health and weight loss. So the other 2 things I'm gonna put that help my hair grow 3 inches in 3 months, this is the magic right here. I'm gonna do 2 scoops of collagen protein. So collagen protein this is from grass-fed animals. And it's very high in lysine, which is an amino acid, glycine, which is an amino acid found in joints of animals. And mostly we just eat muscle meats now. So most of us are a little bit devoid of getting enough of this. I'm gonna do 2 scoops, which is 22 grams of protein. It's odorless, tasteless, it blends perfectly, it doesn't solidify. You literally don't know it's there, and yet it's giving you all this good protein to make your hair amazing. And your eyelashes, I don't know if you can see, the lighting in here is awful, but my eyelashes grew like crazy. Like I remember I was putting on mascara and I was like, what? Why are my eyelashes longer? I didn't know that was a thing. I'm freaking out because I have a client call at 10, so I have 2 minutes before I have to jump off here. So please post your questions if you have them. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of this stuff. This is just, you know, a gut healing amino acid called glutamine. It's really, really good. And proteins, amino acids, great for hair, skin, and nails. Kelly says 22 grams of protein, way better than Great Lakes. Yeah, it's so much more concentrated. That's why I switched to a Bulletproof. It's going to be loud, you guys. I'm turning on the Vitamix. And I just want to show you, it looks creamy. Like it looks like a cup of coffee that you added milk or cream to. So it's amazing. And yeah, I order it online, Kelly. It's just got the best prices that way. And I just do like a bulk order for like, this lasts me like 2 or 3 months. And then I go through 2 bags of the collagen protein per month. Yeah, this is a heat resistant IKEA cup, just so you know. And that's it. So this is my amazing, amazing Bulletproof coffee recipe. Now, regular Bulletproof coffee does not require the addition of collagen or glutamine. That's just sort of something I add on top to get extra protein in my diet and to get my hair, skin, and nails feeling and looking amazing. So I hope that was awesome for you guys. I'm going to sign out now because I have to jump on a client call like right now. But please ask your questions in the comments and I'll get back to them later and I'll answer everything that you ask. Happy Friday, happy weekend, have an amazing day everybody, and we'll chat soon.